I'm here today with my lovely assistant Karen to show you how to set up in a basic Shavasana pose. At the end of every yoga class, it's the pose we call the corpse pose, where you're going to just lie and rest. As you can see, Karen's flat on the floor, which is perfectly acceptable. There's a lot of studios who aren't going to have any props, or if you're doing it at home or at your office, you may need to do that. However, with a few little props, we can make it a little more comfortable. One of the reasons it gets more comfortable is when the body's in flexion, it releases the pull. You can see that Karen's back is nice and flat. A lot of people, if you're tight through here, through the front of the hips, it's going to make your low back want to pull up. So the first thing we're going to start with is we're just going to have her bend her knees a little bit. And I'm just using, this is just a king-size pillow. You might have one on your bed. And we're just going to slide that under her knees and let her stretch her legs back out. And as she does, she's going to let the legs come a little bit wider than the hips. And you want to make sure that whatever pillow you have underneath is down more toward the knee end of the leg so that you don't force that thigh bone forward. So now we've created a slight flexion here in her hip and in her knees. So the legs are completely relaxed. With the arms, the same thing. If you've got a tightness across the chest, having the arms slightly bent. So I'm just using throw pillows off the couch. We're just going to put that underneath her hand with the elbows down and just supporting the forearm and the hand, so that now any pull that might have been across her chest is removed. And then finally, we're going to put something under her head. What I've got is just an old beach towel, and I like to fold them. I'm going to use Karen for my folding table here in a little waterfall fold, kind of a three-fold, so that I end up with something that's going to fit underneath her shoulders. So she's going to lift her head for me slightly, underneath the little bump at the back of the neck, and then underneath her head. Now when you're tucking yourself in, it's a little bit more challenging to do this, but not really. You can still reach up here and kind of give that little snuggle up around the neck to kind of give your neck that little hug. One of the last things we're going to do is cover the eyes. So lots of options there. You may have an eye bag handy at your house. If not, just a simple washcloth or a small towel would do to just drape across the eyes. Don't cover your nose, you want to be able to breathe. But what I like, and you can go to any fabric store and buy about 1.5 yards or 2 yards, depending on how much you want, of polar fleece. Cut it in half and you will end up with 2 little blankets. And what this does is it gives us what I call the Mother Teresa wrap. I'm going to put it across Karen's eyes and then tuck it down around her chest. So this keeps the neck and shoulders warm. It gives us darkness for the eyes, but it also creates this little cocoon where the brain can go really deep and get really relaxed. And the final thing is to just cover her up with a blanket. Even if you're not cold, just remember when you were a little child and you liked your security blanket, having the belly covered, you're in that very vulnerable state with the belly open. So having a blanket over you just really helps.